Hi there, I'm Natasha. I'm starting this brand new YouTube channel today. I'm a fashion designer and this is all new to me, so please be nice. I've always wanted to start a fashion business and I'm finally going ahead and doing it. And if you'd like to learn all about how to start a fashion company from scratch, all the things to do right, to do not to do, and the things I'm doing to hopefully succeed and avoid horrible, agonizing failure. I'm actually a science editor by education. I went to university for science, but it wasn't quite where I wanted to be. I loved the research, didn't want to do more school, and I always had a great love of fashion. I always had a sense of style that was a wee bit excessive for the small town I grew up in, and frankly ridiculous, you know, for the relaxed West Coast where I was and went to university. I'm now on the East Coast in Toronto, and I've lived in France for a little bit. I also lived in Japan for a little bit when I was in high school, so kind of been all over. I really love travel and seeing the world and taking inspiration from everywhere. So you'll see a little bit of inspiration from all of that in my stuff. I've always loved style as self-expression. There's that one line in The Devil Wears Prada where it's fashion is art that you get to wear every day, and that spoke to me. Like, that's exactly how I see it. I definitely love dressing myself. I love seeing others in different styles, just seeing beautiful stuff out there and how it can be so expressive and just really make people happy. I've kind of, as I said, I went to school for science, not fashion, but I was actually lucky enough to have a friend who did go to school for fashion design to help me kind of teach me things like real pattern making and kind of what the industry is like more on a professional level. On a hobbyist level, I learned to sew through friends and family. My grandmother was always an excellent sewer, but I really didn't do it much in high school. I just kind of was more into style, I guess, and using pieces I found. But in university, my friends and I got really into costumes and cosplay, so we would learn how to sew our own things, and I had one friend who was an excellent sewer, and she taught me a lot as well. So we started, you know, just using patterns from the store and kind of modifying them, and then eventually creating our own patterns from scratch. And that was amazing to learn how to do. When I realized I could create anything I wanted myself, it opened a whole new world, and that's what I want to do. So I'm looking to create a new clothing line for production right now. As well as custom pieces. I've made 2 custom wedding dresses so far and a couple of just standard custom dresses or skirts, that kind of thing for people. So I've had some real people wear my stuff, and it's always been so rewarding, and it's just been amazing to see it in the real world out there. I definitely I'm kind of keeping it separate, kind of keeping it all together. I'm so ADD, so while I've got kind of my fashion line, my custom line, and then I've got an art website going at the same time that I'm trying to get off the ground, so just all over the place, but that's pretty much me. And everyone says, you know, focus down, just focus on one thing, but it doesn't work, so I'm just trying to make it work all together. I've got 3 things going, and we're gonna stick with that for now and see what takes off. You know, it might be something I don't expect. I'm open to that too. As it is, this isn't all fly by night. I've spent the last couple years researching the fashion industry, researching what to do to make a company succeed, what to do to start off an industry. I'm still undecided as to whether I want to use a factory, use a local factory or an international factory, or just do manufacturing in-house, i.e. hire my own sewers, etc. So we'll see how that goes, and a lot of that will probably come down to how much demand is for the first batch of construction. As it is, I can make my own patterns and my own samples, so I don't need to outsource that. And then once the samples are ready, hopefully by the end of the year, we will be going into pre-sales and then seeing what the demand is like. And kind of, I'm expecting to do in-house manufacturing, just i.e. me, for the first season, and kind of seeing how it goes from there. I believe very strongly in ethical construction, so I want to make sure there are safe factories where the workers are paid a living wage, and that's where the clothing I produce is definitely not fast fashion. This also includes like fabric sourcing, etc. I'm a vegetarian, not a vegan, so you definitely won't be seeing any leather in my clothing or in my eventual shoe line. You will be seeing ethically sourced wool though, happy animal wool. I'm fine with that. So just as a heads up, if that matters to you, then here we go. My clothing, when I find a piece of clothing that I really like, I want to wear it for years and years. And I have pieces in my closet that I've had since I was, 10 years old, 15 years old. That's the kind of item I want to bring to you guys. I want to give you pieces that will hold up, that will be timeless, and that you can wear for years and years and will love for years and years. Again, not fast fashion, classic pieces, and in order to achieve that, that's one of the reasons I'm a big fan of like vintage styles instead of really heavily trendy things. Dior's new look being the ultimate example for me of, timeless fashion that could still be worn today and will be able to be worn for the next 100 years. I'm not a fan of, for me, athleisure or really casual, really that kind of clothing. So definitely my line for things that are beautiful and feminine and strong and clean and classic. But with, some modern proportions, current trends in the prints or the styling or the accessories and all of that sort of thing. So definitely definitely with some motion and activity to them to move along with the years. And so if you're looking to do your own collection, that's the first step. Find your inspiration, figure out what the overall look you're looking for is, make your sketches. If you're not an artist, start a Pinterest board. You don't have to do it all by hand. Napkin sketches are what a lot of modern designers work from. Decide on your colors and your themes. Figure out kind of what type of collection is it. Is it going to be spring, summer, fall, winter, i.e. the traditional collections? But nowadays you don't have to do that either. You can work one collection for the whole year or until it sells out with just, a couple pieces that like shirts and pants and skirts that will last you all year at any time of year. Especially if you're in like a very warmer climate where you don't have a huge winter. Alternatively, on the other side, you could do something like a collection that releases a couple new pieces every month, and so you're always timed right to the season, and there's something new and fresh for people to look at all the time. This does very well right now because people want something new to look at on your Instagram, something new to buy on your website. They want to be stimulated faster and faster. So the more you can put out little fun things for people, the better they'll like it. And some companies are actually kind of going half and half. They'll have one major collection that they release, and then they'll pop out a couple extra pieces every month or every 3 months just to kind of like seed some new interest and keep people coming back to the website. So there's lots of different options, and kind of if you're starting new, it's a good idea to keep small. A lot of designers that I've seen fail are because they start too big. They put tens of thousands of dollars into releasing a huge collection, and then they end up with all of this inventory sitting around that might never sell. On that note, money to get started. You can do this with $0. You can do this with tens of thousands of dollars. You can do this with hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're doing it traditional, be prepared to put the same amount of money as you put into production, i.e. making the pieces, into your marketing, because that's the only way you're gonna sell all of that and actually make a profit. So if you're putting $5,000 into production, put $5,000 into your marketing, i.e., you know, $100,000, $100,000, etc. If you're building your audience first, which is a much safer, smaller way to do it, then you're doing something like pre-orders, which is what I'm hoping to do. You might be doing custom small batch, i.e. made to order. You might be doing something like Kickstarter, in which case you'll know exactly how much to produce before you have to do it. This is a bit safer and recommended nowadays, especially for a brand new company. You do not want to make 100,000 of something that you can't sell, because a factory will try to convince you you'll get a better rate the more you produce, which is true, but it's not worth it if you can't sell it. Start with an Instagram, start with a website, build your audience, make people interested and invested into what you're producing before you try to sell it to them. That way, when you actually have the money to go forward, you know what's happening and it's gonna actually work. People are gonna actually like it. So there's tons of next steps. I'll go into in my next couple of videos things like how to do pattern drafting, how to work your sketches into a pattern, kind of what's realistic in a sketch versus like what is this actually going to look like in reality, and also how to deconstruct pieces that already exist that you find in the market that you like, how to kind of realize what it is that you like about them and how to work that into your own pieces. Also things like kind of how to do your advertising, kind of different things I'm trying right now. I'm getting started on things like TikTok and Instagram and of course YouTube. So if you like kind of all of this, please like and subscribe. I would love to hear your comments, see what you think. Take a look at the Instagram and see if there's anything there that that appeals to you. Yeah, give me a shout and thanks for watching so much. I'll see you guys later. Bye now.